So, what's the plan, I hear you ask? Well, the plan is a simple one. It's to take photographs of the interior of the cathedral. There's also So, here we are in Truro, and as the sign says, exit to city centre, Cathedral and Hall for Cornwall. Photographing. I've got the 4.5 with me and the Nikon FE with some tungsten based film. So let's get to the cathedral before it chucks it down with rain yet again today. So this is Lemon Quay. It's the heart and centre of Truro. Formerly this was actually a part of a river. It's now been fully covered over. To the left, Hall for Cornwall, and the drummer statue, which was controversially replaced and moved to the Eden project when the work on the Hall for Cornwall was being done. Oh, excuse me. And now heading towards the cathedral. Pannier Market to the right. There's a good record shop in there. I don't know whether it's open today. And lots of cafes, coffee shops. Actually, the record shop's over here. It's no longer in there. There's the record shop. It is open. I might pay a visit later. Hello. Yikes, that's one big crane. So, first view of the cathedral from down in the precincts. And again, there's possibly a shot here on a day when it's not raining. And although it's not actually raining at the moment, it's getting damn close. So we're at the cathedral now. This side of it is the original 15th century parish church, and the cathedral itself was built in the late 19th century. As you can see, it's quite a construction. I want to go inside. Hopefully they'll let me take photographs and put a camera on a tripod. If they won't, I'm a bit stuffed, really. The facade of Truro Cathedral, about to be decorated for Christmas, although the Christmas tree looks a bit wonky. Well, here we are in Truro Cathedral. I'm speaking quietly because obviously it's a place where you do keep noise to a minimum. As you can see, the nave, the roof, they're all very beautiful. Actually, the lighting is great just at the moment. Let's see if we can frame up a composition. There's not too much light coming in from outside to dazzle things. Okay, so after a lot of hassle and faff, I think I've finally got a composition set up. Just the central of these three Gothic arches. I've used a bit as much front rise as I possibly can to try and get the arch in, even with a 90mm lens. And I've used some front shift, left shift, to take out the panel to the right, which was distracting. I ruled out the composition over here. I just could not get it all in without too many distractions. There still are probably some distractions, but we'll come back to this one and see if we can get it completely straight. Okay, so I'm going to take the shot now. Just spent so much time setting up, I need to get something, even if it's not completely right, correct in post as much as possible. Okay, let's get some film out and let's do some metering. So, spot meter says we're at EV2, which even at f16 is at 15 seconds. So I'm going to do 30 seconds and 1 minute exposure. Let's hope I get this something like right. So here we go, putting film in. That's the first thing to do. Right, aperture f16 because there's not really much depth in the subject. So, shutter, test cocked, shutter cocked. Protective tab out the way, everything is all locked down. Dark slide out, and first one, 30 seconds, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So that's with one stop for reciprocity failure. Dark slide back in, reversed of course, to show real exposure, tab over. Dark slide doesn't want to come out. Yeah. So yes, we're going to use T because that's a bit more accurate. So once again, protective tab off, dark slide out, shutter is cocked. Gonna go exactly 1 minute. So there we have it, 2 sheets of film now exposed, 1 and 2 stops of exposure compensation. I guess I should have looked up the reciprocity failure of HP5, but that was a ballpark figure. Composition was very difficult. I didn't really account for the low levels of light. I was a little bit wary about choosing subjects that were in the full glare of the public and members of staff. So here is a little quiet corner where you can take architectural details, and at least it's dry and not raining. These images have, I think, come out quite successfully with good detail, and the composition is something I'm reasonably happy with. There are only minor differences between the two. Essentially they are the same image. I have just cropped them ever so slightly differently, and you can see from the close crop there from the top left just how much detail is in this image, which of course you'll only see with a big print. So this is another composition. I'm back to using the 35mm Nikon. It's loaded with 200 ISO motion picture tungsten balanced film, so I want to see what the colours turn out like. I'm going to do a horizontal and a vertical composition from the same spot if I can. Alright. Okay, so I've reframed the composition. This lady is praying, so I won't try and speak too loudly. Now stop down to F11. So framed it up vertically. Let's see if this works as well. Self timer's on. I think we're at 4 seconds. So now when you'll stop down to F16, 4 seconds, self timer. So this is St Mary's Chapel, the original parish church of the cathedral. A much more intimate space than the cathedral itself, with a nice barrel vaulted ceiling. Next shot is this old font, baptismal font, and one of the faces on the side of it, just trying to get that with not much in the way of background, so we can have a fairly wide aperture, probably f4, f2.8, because there's always background clutter around here, which is not surprising, as you need lights and things and notices and so forth. Right, let's see if I can get this framed up, and then I think I'm going to stop here for the day. Self timer, 1 second, f5.6. Right, so final one, we're going to go, give it a stop of exposure compensation, self timer, f4, Bob's your elderly male relative. Right, let's stop in here. Last exposure of the day, the actual nave itself, vertical, I think. Right, on way home now. Rattled up, well, I took a couple of extra shots. Didn't take pictures of the car park. I'm sure it wasn't right. It's either not the right car park, or it's not as I remembered anyway. So, challenging shoot. Inside of the cathedral was difficult. It was literally too dark, really, for the 4.5 with that lens, struggling to make compositions. So yes, lessons learned. I don't know whether anything will come out. If they do, I'll show you them. I'll probably show you them anyway, if you can have a laugh. Okay, signing out, over and out.